Okay, there's a little baby. And I got some tips I want to share with you that I learned. Right now I moved the net to the end of the tank instead of the front because it was just too much current, and this was the only survivor. And then I hatched another one right there. You can see it kind of swimming around because they scattered eggs again, and so he's the only survivor of the eggs. He's so tiny. Oh, I scared him. But you can tell how tiny he was compared to my finger. And there's the original again. Ain't that cute? He's got his little fantail already. Yeah, and you don't want any major current. I think that's why I lost so many. They say you lose about, I think, 30% anyway. And but that current was really strong down there. Even though they were in the net, I think they had too much trouble eating and just got exhausted from swimming against the current. And I'm hoping there's not too much current in here. You can see the leaf moving for the little bitty one that I put in there. If it is, oh well, because I had moved them to it's one of those little tanks where you pour water in, and as you pour it in, the water comes out the back. And I was having to do that every day because I feed them when they're little tiny like that one that hatched from the egg. Well, they both did, but they can't really eat, even if you grind up the fish food flakes, which I do for the bigger one. He can eat them now. But I also, when they're tiny, I give them egg yolk, and I just crush up the egg yolk into little pieces and put it in the freezer. But sometimes all it takes is like raking some of the egg yolk powder off the side of the Ziploc and getting it on your finger, because they can't eat a whole lot. And if you drop a big chunk down in there, you're gonna have a lot of water issues. But one good thing about there's the baster I use to soak the little fish and eggs up in. But one good thing about it, if you do get too much food settled in the bottom, you can always use that to suck some of it out. But it's so hard to see those little fish. They are so tiny that you might suck some of them up. You really need some strong bifocals just for your fish watching. Baby fish watching. Or maybe a magnifying glass. My suggestion would be a 10-gallon tank at least with a sponge filter. And you still have some current, but at least you can put it at one end, and maybe it ain't too strong for them. Maybe a little something they can get in to get away from the current. I don't know. But they like to hang at the top. Maybe something at the top that would stop the current. But I do need to mention, if you do set up a 10-gallon for the eggs or the babies, I would use the water out of the tank, because you can't use water out of the tap, even if you kill the chlorine in it, because it's not cycled and it takes weeks to cycle it. So just use water out of your tank. And also, if you don't know nothing about sponge filters or anything, you know, go to a fish store. They can tell you what you need. And if you're gonna do goldfish, they take lots of water, so you wouldn't want to rescue too many eggs. But any other fish might be a different story. Okay, and before my phone before my battery dies, let's see if we can get another shot of the baby. Or the babies. I got two. There's the little bitty one. You can kind of see him over to the left. Or my left anyway. At the top. And see, he keeps swimming and swimming, so I don't know. He may not make it, but we'll have that one. Anyway, that one's not going to show up again before my battery dies, so I'll just sign off here, and I hope y'all like watching them grow. Bye, y'all.